Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm just trying to make sure that everything is set up right. Hey y'all, I know it's been a minute. Today is January 2nd, 2025. It is the top of the year, and I feel like I'm in a really good headspace. I'm really tired of like not doing all the things that I said I was gonna do. I feel like I do a lot of what I said that I'm gonna do, but then there's the other things that I know I can do, but just procrastination just keeps me from doing it. So I'm starting this year off really intentional. And the word for the year for me is fruition. I want a lot of things that I have spoke into the air, a lot of things that I've laid the groundwork for to come into fruition. This video is going to be kind of like a follow-up slash update to the last financial video I did. So I think that was maybe like 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I did like a YouTube Q&A where I answered a lot of like financial related questions that people had. And a lot of it covered like strategies that I follow. And I want to do an update because obviously things have changed from 2 years ago. So I want to kind of do a life update slash a financial strategy update. And just talking about kind of like things that I'm doing now, what's working for me. So we gonna get into some things. Let's get started. So for the first portion of the video, we're going to talk about just the life update and like what has changed since 2 years ago. Definitely number one, I moved. So moving from Miami to Houston, I honestly never would have thought I would have left Miami because I'm a Miami girl through and through. Like, I love my city. Ask anybody, like, Miami is the best city. Like, period. I love being from the best city. I never really thought I would be living in Houston. But here I am. I moved 2 years ago. Actually almost 3 years ago now. It's 2025. I keep forgetting. We moved in 2022. So yeah, almost 3 years now. With my now fiance. And that has been, you know, a journey, a blessing though. I feel like you know, like I spoke it into the air. Like I think I want to move to Houston, and then it, you know, my fiance made it happen. We really didn't have to pay for anything when it came to the move, you know. He kind of had all of that covered. So it was a blessing, and I feel like all of the stars aligned and it ended up just happening the way it was supposed to happen, you know. So a blessing through and through, honestly. What else happened? We moved up here, we got a house, and we also have an investment property. So life as a landlord, it's nice collecting that money every, you know, first of the month, but it is a responsibility. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. I think people think home ownership is like, it's a goal for a lot of people, but I do understand why some people say home ownership is not for them. It is a lot that goes into it. It's personally something that I do love. Real estate is one of the ways that I plan to become rich, and I always plan to have real estate as part of my portfolio personally, but there's a lot of different ways you can do it. So like I said, we got a house, which is our main house that we live in, and then we also have an investment property, which is a duplex. So it's 2 units. So we rent out one to a long-term renter, and then we do Airbnb on the other side. And we wanted to do that for at least a year just to see, you know, Airbnb ebbs and flows, has good months, slower months. So we wanted to see on average how much we're going to bring in from both, you know, and like, is Airbnb gonna do more, or is the long-term renter gonna end up doing better than Airbnb? Like, we wanted to see what was best, and then for the next year we can decide if we want to Airbnb the whole thing or just do long-term rental on both sides. So far the Airbnb is proving to be very lucrative, so that's going well. But it is an investment, because you know, you put your money up front to furnish the place, and then you're kind of paying yourself back for your initial investment. So it's going good. I can't really knock it right now. I could do a whole separate video on like Airbnb, and a whole separate video on being a landlord and dealing with renters, and kind of that whole journey, which is probably something I will tap into. But that's not the purpose of this video. But those are two things that we do have to manage, because it's a business, and it's both dealing with people, dealing with Airbnb guests, and also dealing with your renters. So it ain't easy, but it's the life that we chose. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Okay, I'm back. So we was giving life updates. Oh, okay. So I was talking about being like owning properties. I want to get a new house. I feel like every year I want a new house. Like, I don't know, I like being in a new house. But I want to move into kind of like, right now we're in a 3-bed, 2-bath. Well, 3-bed, 2.5 bath. I want to get one to like a 4 to 5 bedroom, something that has more space for, you know, when we have kids, so that I really won't have to move again. So I'm looking for more of like a long-term home. That's what I want. So God willing, we'll be in a new house at some point this year. I'll speak that into existence. That's what I want. And also would like to get another investment property. Those are things that we're all working on, or while trying to like figure out when we're gonna actually get married, what's the wedding date, location, all that stuff. So a lot of plans for within the next year, that take a lot of like financial planning, intention, and just being smart with our decisions, you know. So those are just some things that are in the works. I also want to get my real estate license in Texas. If you know, I had it back in Florida, but ended up moving before I could really like use it a lot. So I want to get it in Texas. I don't really want to be like a realtor every single day, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to be like boots to ground, because I do have a 9-to-5 job. I do have other things, like, you know, other businesses, but I do want to have my real estate license, because I do want to represent us in our own real estate dealings, and then also be able to represent, you know, family, friends who are looking for property in Texas. I do want to be their realtor. I like real estate. I want my license. But when I say I don't want to be like boots on the ground, is I don't want to be like I don't want to be a realtor as like my full-time job. I'll say I don't think so. But I do want to get my license eventually. There's just a lot going on. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to remember where I left off. I keep looking at I had wrote, and I get my notes, kind of things I wanted to talk about. So I think definitely, if we're going to transition to talking about like financial strategy, number one for me is I'm still budgeting, always budgeting. I will never stop budgeting. It kind of surprises me when people tell me they don't. Well, actually it doesn't surprise me, because I know a lot of people don't really know how to be financially responsible, but it surprises me when people still will be like they don't have a budget, or surprised that they need to budget all the time. And I'm like, unless you have honestly nothing, there is no unless, there is no caveat. Like, you should be budgeting, period. Like, that is the number one step in managing your money, is having a budget and understanding how much you have and where you spend it. I think it's been interesting, you know, kind of now going from budgeting as an individual to budgeting as a unit, and like doing that in a relationship, right? And budgeting with someone, and like kind of being financially transparent as to like what's all going on. I think that has been interesting, and I think it has been great for us. I know that sometimes couples kind of struggle with that. I feel like we've done really well with it. But it's very, very important to have financial transparency in a relationship. And especially, I think if you are sharing a life together, you should share a budget together. You should, you know, be on the same page as far as how much is coming in and where it's going. It's very important. I mean, I budget. I'm very detailed though, like, so you don't have to be as detailed as me, but I do mine bi-weekly. You know, every time I get paid, it's a budget. As far as there's a monthly budget and there's a bi-weekly budget, and I'm always looking at the budget, always making sure, because sometimes I look at things and I be like, oops, I remember something that I forgot to do. Like, it's a constant process. So definitely still budgeting to stay on top of my finances, and I'm always finding areas where I can free up money that I can use for saving and investing, which I think is key. Secondly is paying down debt. That has been a priority for me and my fiance, is paying down debt, especially with the moving. You accumulate debt, getting properties, you accumulate debt, starting businesses, you accumulate debt. So it's going to be, debt is not a bad thing, and I don't think it's anything that someone should be afraid of. But you have to make sure you're kind of doing it the right way. It's smart debt and it's dumb debt. Dumb debt is when you're accumulating debt that is not going to, that's not an asset. It's not going to generate you any money. It's just going to be cost you money. It's more like consumer debt. Like, you're just taking on debt that you now have to pay back at a high interest rate, opposed to if you're taking on debt that's going to turn into an asset or something that's going to generate you money in the long term. And I'm human, right? Like, I've got both, and I'm really focusing on paying down dumb debt. That's something that, like, you know, it's a challenge, because right, we get caught up and you see something really, like, you want to swipe your credit card, you want to have it, but at the end of the day you have to think about, does this help you achieve your financial goals, or does this counteract against your financial goals? And I'm at the place where I'm really trying to be focused, and I'm not keeping up with the Joneses. I'm really secure in where I am and where I'm trying to go, and I don't need to take on a lot of dumb debt. I'm a smart, you know what I mean? So yeah, me and my fiance, we actually do challenges and things to help us, like, make right decisions, you know what I'm saying? So that brings me to my next point, is accountability, and having an accountability partner in your financial journey. So in mine, it happens to be my fiance, but if you don't have a partner, it could be your friend, it could be your parent, it could be, you know, it could be me. Like, I could be it, you know, like, I can definitely be that person to hold you accountable. Like, just let me know, you know what I'm saying? It's really that person who you kind of, like, gonna keep you in check. You let them know your goals and what you want to do, and they kind of help bring you back, you know? Like, I'll say something crazy like, Deshaun, let's go to Thailand next month, and he'll be like, okay, but we're also getting a new house, and we're also planning for a wedding and a honeymoon. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like, you know, they kind of reel you back in, because sometimes you just forget. Like, I just forget, oh, we have all of these other things going on, and like, on top of that, we're trying to open new businesses, and it's like, there's a lot of other things that take priority over just wanting to go to Thailand because I just want to go, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need a partner to keep you in check and to remind you of your goals, and to say no, not now, like, not no, but later, because we have to do something else that's more of a priority. So that's something to, like, keep in mind. You know what I'm saying? It's having a partner to keep you in check. Like for instance, we also do these things called frugal months. So we'll pick like 2 months out the year where we'll be like, okay, we're gonna be frugal. That means like no shopping. We're like saving extra. We're not really eating out that much. Like we're kind of like intentionally being cheap, or you know, just like chilling because we want to save extra this month. And like those have proven to be like really successful for us. Something else we do is we'll do like no designer for a certain period. So what that is like we will go shopping, right, or whatever, but we make sure like we're not buying things that's over a certain amount. You know, that has also helped us as far as like not spending outrageously on unnecessary things just because we see something. I think sometimes too, especially if you see something and it's on sale, you'd be like, oh, I gotta have it. But just because it's on sale, you're still spending money to get it that you could have just not spent, kept that money and saved it. So we do times like where we just kind of say, okay, we're not gonna buy nothing designer, or we're gonna be like extra frugal and not go crazy, and we use that money, we save it, we invest it, we grow that money. It's just like different, I would say, like challenges that you do with yourself, just to make sure that you can, you know, reach your financial goals. And I have some ebooks that are going to come out. They're going to touch on like saving, investing, and paying down debt, which are all like I think the 3 things that you need to try to like wrap your head around first when you're starting your financial journey. These ebooks will be tailored towards beginners, so I think it will be really good for people who are like just starting out or want to make sure they're on the right track in their financial journey. I would definitely say check those out. I will have more information on those coming soon. OMG, I realized in my life update I forgot to say I got a pup. Well, we got a puppy. Yes, our little baby. I'm a dog mommy. His name is Lucky. I'm not going to get him because I don't feel like getting up. He's with his daddy. But yeah, that's our little baby. He's a Maltipoo. We got Lucky when he was 6 months, and he's now a year. It has been 6 months since we had him, which is crazy. Yeah, that's my little baby. He's so sweet. And like, I love having a dog because it just teaches you more responsibility. He's definitely a bill. It's not cheap, but that's our baby. And I can't imagine life without my baby. Yeah. You hear him? Now he barking. It's like he heard me talking about him, and now he trying to make himself be seen. Okay, so next we're going to talk about retirement planning. That's something that I am very big on, is planning for retirement. I think a lot of, especially my peers and people older than me and younger than me, are not doing or not taking seriously is planning for retirement. I think people think they have time and it's something to worry about later on. But it's definitely one of those, the earlier you start, the better type of situations. So I definitely wanted to touch on that. I know last time when I made my video, I spoke a lot about having an IRA, which is individual retirement account, particularly something called a Roth IRA, which is one of my favorite type of IRAs. I still have my IRA. I max that out every year. I think when we last spoke, the max was either 6,000 or 6,500, and now the max is 7,000. And basically what that means is that each year you can contribute $7,000 to your individual retirement account, which is what you are doing outside of work. This is not a 401k. It's separate from that. So your 401k or whatever you're contributing to your retirement through work is what you do at work. Usually you contribute to that, and then your employer gives you a match. So I do that as well. So I do contribute to my 401k still. I do 6% so that I can get the employer match. So that's still going. That honestly, and why I say start early is because compound interest is crazy. I think in my 401k I have at least $100,000 in my 401k. So that is just like retirement money that I started doing that, I think 2018, I just started contributing there. And that has been just kind of compounding in the background as I've gone. So I definitely would say make sure you're contributing there, at least getting your employer match. That's what I'm getting. And then outside of that, I'm doing my Roth IRA, which I'm maxing out every year, contributing there. That's mostly consists of ETFs and mutual funds I have in there. I keep it safe. Let me think. I used to have some individual stocks, but I think now I just have my ETFs and mutual funds and my 401k. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing for retirement. And also real estate is part of my retirement planning as well. So having properties, getting those now, they'll be paid off at least, you know, say I plan to retire 25 years from now, 30 years from now. Hopefully I plan to retire earlier than that. But what I'm saying is that when these houses are paid off in 25 to 30 years, there's just going to be generating straight revenue because I won't have a mortgage at that time. So everything that I'm making, besides what I'm paying on taxes, is going to be coming out of pocket, you know, coming in my pockets is what I mean. So that is going to be money that I can consider as a part of my retirement, because that's going to be contributing to the income that I have. And retirement is what I'm netting from my rental property. So I look at real estate as a part of my retirement portfolio. Definitely like the three main things in my retirement portfolio right now is my 401k, my Roth IRA, and then my real estate. And then I also have my other investment accounts. I have several different investment accounts, but we can focus on like, and I can do deeper dive videos into each of these, but I have like a long-term trading account, which is where I buy and hold stocks. This ranges from, you know, just individual stocks, also has ETFs in there as well. I have a dividend portfolio, which is our stocks that I have, stocks and ETFs I have that pay dividends. So this specifically where I have like the DRIP on, which is a dividend reinvestment option that you turn on, which basically means I buy these stocks, they pay a dividend it varies every quarter. Is normally what it is, right? If you have some are monthly, some are quarterly, but you have your dividend, that your stock that pays a dividend every so often. Instead of taking that cash out, I just reinvest it into buy more of that stock. So it's just kind of growing itself. I'm not taking the dividends at this point, but like say, you know, dividends, you start small and it really just snowballs over time. So eventually I'll be at a point where I'm like, okay, I'm making $1,000 a month in just dividends. And then at that time, if I want to take that money out, that's just extra revenue for me. So that's another type of account I have. So all of these different things are a part of kind of like my retirement strategy. I don't plan on touching this money now and spending it now. It's just more so to be setting myself up down the line so I can be in a position where I can retire early and not have to work until I'm 59. So that's the goal here. When I'm talking about like retirement planning and making sure that you're kind of setting yourself up and you have multiple vehicles in place so that you can retire earlier and you're not working your whole life. At least that's the point of it for me. I think when we spoke 2 years ago, I think I talked about my, you know, getting my net worth to 6 figures, which was at least 100,000 at that time, and I've nearly like tripled that at this point. And I think what you'll learn is once you've reached a certain number, like compound interest is really gonna kick in. So that's what I was saying. Like the earlier you start, the better, because the more you have, the better position you will be. Like compound interest will start to like just take over. And even if you find yourself like you don't feel like you're contributing as much, you're like, but my money is still growing, and it's because your money is making itself money at that point, right? So and then on top of that, if you are contributing regularly to your different investment accounts, you'll definitely see compound interest even take effect even more so. So I think, you know, it's important to track your net worth, right? So what your net worth is your assets minus your liabilities equals your net worth. That's what it is. So when you think about assets, that's anything that you, you know, if you own something, if you own a house, it's the value of your house. If you own a car, it's the value of your vehicle. If you own jewelry, it's the value of that jewelry. If you have liquid cash, it's the value of it's however much cash you have. If you have investment accounts, it's the value of those accounts. You know, if you own a business, it's the value of that business. So when you think about assets, it's like, what do you have? What do you own? And when you think about liabilities, it's what you owe. So if you owe anything on that house, that's going to be a liability. If you have a mortgage on that house, if you owe anything, if you have loans, student loans, personal loans, consumer loans, those are going to be liabilities. Credit card debt is going to be a liability. So anything that you owe is what you're going to put down in your liability column. You're going to subtract that from your assets, and then you'll have your net worth. And that's essentially, like I said, assets minus liabilities. That is what makes up your net worth. I personally track my net worth. I use apps, and I use an Excel spreadsheet to track that, because I like to personally just make sure I know what my net worth consists of, where all my money is. That's important to me. And I think it helps people get a good picture. Because sometimes we just like, you know, we be out here living life and we just be spending. But once you look back and you look back at how much you spent, it's a reality check. Like, yo, I need to chill out. Like, you're not a billionaire, babe. You need to chill out. Like, we not drug dealers. We're not. We need to chill out. I'm not a drug dealer. I'm not a scammer. I cannot be out here spending money like Griselda. Like, it's not a thing. So, like, that is what I mean about reality check. Checking yourself. It's really good, like having these processes to like review all your finances, do your budget, calculate your net worth, see where you stand. It really helps you put things into perspective. So I feel like I've been rambling for a minute. You know, there's so much you can dive into with these topics. And like I said, we're just getting started. I'm really going to be more consistent this year. And I think that when you're talking finances, a lot of these topics take individual videos to dive into, to really talk about them and really like help people understand them. So we'll be doing that this year. What else? I will also do a part 2 where I'm gonna again ask people what questions they have for me, and I'll answer those questions specifically. I just wanted to use this video to do like a life update and just cover kind of some of the topics I know I talked about last time, and let you know like if I'm still doing that, has something changed, you know, is it the same kind of thing. So that's where I was going with this video, was just touching on a few key things that I touched on in the first video, and kind of updating you all on what my financial strategies are. But like I said, it's a lot, and we could go a lot deeper, but I'm literally tired of hearing myself talk. I feel like I've been rambling. I hope this video was helpful. I hope it was informational. That's my goal always, is to like leave you with something, and I hope I did. If I didn't, let me know. I'll do better. I'm open to constructive criticism and feedback. You know, we got thick skin over here, so it's never that serious. Just let me know what you want to see from me and hear from me. And yeah, I love y'all. I never say this, but like, comment, and subscribe. You know, do the YouTube thing. You know, y'all know what to do more than me, but we here. We're gonna do better this year. And yeah, love y'all.